On this week's edition of the Overtime, we're going to take a close look at NAU football and volleyball and how their seasons ended. Next, NAU basketball has tipped off their season and a close look on their performance so far. Finally, a special guest joins us to talk about the NCAA Cross Country Championship. All that and more on this edition of the Overtime. Hello and welcome to the Overtime, Northern Arizona's only sports show. I'm your host, Jesselyn Garcia, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Adriana Sparks. Thank you so much for being here today. We have a lot of exciting things to cover.
Thank you so much for having me, Jess, but you are right. We have a lot to discuss. Let's start with the fall sports that just wrapped up.
That's right. The Lumberjacks football season came to an end recently after a 48-28 loss to the Weber State Wildcats, but they certainly didn't leave quietly.
After securing an FCS playoff spot last year, this season came to an unfortunate early end for the Lumberjacks. They rounded out the regular season 7-5 overall and just 500 in conference play at 4-4. Now, while back-to-back winning seasons isn't something to be disappointed about, Jess, we know that head coach Brian Wright has very high expectations for this team.
He certainly did, and he had his eyes set on 2 rings this season. And with that determination, we may see those very soon.
We did some good things this year. We put back-to-back winning seasons together for the first time, and that this program has done that in the last 10 years, I believe it is, and won. We were part of a 9-game home winning streak. That's a record. We did some really good things, won some big games, showed a lot of resiliency, I think, at times this year as a team, and showed what kind of people we have in our organization.
Now, Coach Wright is correct. The Jacks have done a lot of great things this season, Jess, including sending 4 players to the Big Sky All-Conference first team. And you might be able to guess who, because you would have heard their names all season, but Travis Arena, Quentin Moten, and Ben DeQuilla were all voted in by head coaches around the league. Most notably, though, Colby Katzis was selected as both a first-team wide receiver and kick returner.
Katzis certainly made his mark this season, and we saw a fire ignite in the team against Northern Colorado, where Katzis made a 100-yard kickoff return. It's absolutely no surprise that he was recognized to first team. Colby Katzis certainly made his mark this season with over 1,000 receiving yards, which is not only a career high for Katzis, but also the most yards by any receiver in the Big Sky Conference. Not only did he put up these astounding numbers on Saturdays, but he was also named Big Sky's Offensive Player of the Week twice and is tied for the league lead with 10 touchdowns this season. Not to mention, he finished 5th in the FCS and 1st in the Big Sky in kick return average, and his 100-yard return against Northern Colorado was one of only 2 kick return touchdowns in the Big Sky this season.
Katzis is certainly going to be missed, but it's clear that he's going to make his presence known wherever he ends up. NAU also offered 28 different seniors a few weeks ago, and as always, many players are entering the transfer portal. Most notably, running back Seth Cromwell and go-to kicker Samuel Hunsaker are looking to take their talents elsewhere.
Despite the changes we'll see with the Lumberjacks, I have absolutely no doubt that they'll hit the ground running next year. Considering over 20 players were signed yesterday, it seems that Coach Wright is looking to get those rings next year.
You're absolutely right, Jess. But NAU volleyball also came to a close this last weekend, and it truly was a heartbreaker for the Lady Lumberjacks as they were eliminated in the first round of the Big Sky Conference tournament.
After being named Big Sky regular season championships, the Lumberjacks fell to the Idaho State Bengals in a very close match going to 5 sets. The game featured a 1-minute rally, which really showcases how hard both sides on the court were fighting.
It's going to be Smith again. Barlow is there. So see, that one will not be called because it stayed on their side of the net. Was it clean? No, but it's on their side of the net. Oh. Finally getting off the hands of Jaden.
Now, that's not even the complete clip. That rally, like you said, Jess, went to a full minute. And it's not really that often that you see a rally go that long, but it's no surprise. But get this, Jess, just a few weeks ago, against the same Idaho State team, the Jacks battled to a historic 44-42 set victory. So it will be very interesting to see how these two teams battle it out next season.
I would have loved to see the Lumberjacks have a first-round bye in the championship, and it's an absolute shame that they were sent home by the last seed in the Big Sky.
I have to agree, Jess, but the Jacks actually have a lot to hang their hats on this season. They also have 3 representatives in the first team all-conference: Hannah Stoddard, Gigi Greenlee, and Sophia Wadsworth. And head coach Ken Murphy was also named head coach of the year after leading the Lumberjacks to a historic 23-win season.
I agree. They certainly did not leave the season quietly. But in other news, the NAU men's basketball season just tipped off. But they took a loss last night against the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. Adriana, take us through some of those highlights.
It was certainly an eventful game. After NAU jumped out to a 14-8 lead behind 2 early threes from Arnie Osoynik and a transition dunk from Zach Davidson, the Jackrabbits responded with a massive 20-3 run to flip the game on its head. NAU fought back in the second half, cutting a 15-point deficit down to 4, thanks to an 11-0 burst sparked by Chris Coleman and capped by Carl Poom from deep. But SDSU's toughness on the glass was what really made the difference. 12 offensive rebounds, leading to a 14 second chance points, including a huge and one, and a corner three that pushed the lead back to double digits, this time for good. Osoynik led NAU with 16, Davidson added 11, but the comeback fell short as South Dakota State ended the Jacks' home streak with a win of 75-62. The men's team is currently 4-3 overall, and they're looking to have a little bit more success before heading into Big Sky play in just a few weeks. Head coach Shane Burkhar says although they did have some success against the Jackrabbits, he was hoping to see some more.
We stepped up to the challenge, but I think it's a game that we can grow on. Just to be completely honest with everybody, I was not impressed with our 10 turnovers in the first half. They still shot a low percentage, would give us credit to our transition defense, and our shot selection really hurt us in the first half, and that's why we shot so bad.
Now they've got a stretch of 3 consecutive road games on Saturday in Fargo, North Dakota, where they'll face the Bison, who are currently 6-3.
And we'll see what the Lumberjacks do this weekend to push past this loss. When we come back, we'll take a look at our local teams kicking off their winter sports.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple?
Chop the pineapple.
Nope, I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope, I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. Our local teams have also seen the start of their winter sports, with Flagstaff High's girls soccer just kicking off this past week, and with a lot of new faces on their team. Sports reporter Reese Clark has the story.
After losing 13 seniors last year, Flagstaff girls soccer is almost a new team. Boulder Creek made the trip up the mountain to challenge the Eagles and walked away with a 3-0 victory.
We lost 13 seniors last year too, so we have like this rebuilding season as well, is what people are thinking. But I think from what I saw here, like the girls are ready to play. They're ready to compete at a high level. So
Boulder Creek freshman Zeta Ford opened up the match early, scoring within the first few minutes. The Eagles responded with physicality, but it was not enough to stop the Jaguars.
It's all about effort, like how much, like when you're 50-50, you know, how are you going to compete? Always looking to win. I'm looking forward to goals. I think we had some good opportunities today, but until we start finishing goals, it's going to be hard to win a game, right?
To secure the win, Boulder Creek freshman Kayla Falk slotted 2 goals into the net, ending the game 3-0.
They're a solid team. I think all it does is prepare us for the games that we're trying to get into in the postseason.
The Eagles' next match is on Tuesday, where they will host the Mesquite Wildcats at 3 p.m. Reese Clark, 1, 2, 3, and AZ Sports.
It must be really tough to adapt when you lose 13 seniors on your team, Adriana. I'll be interested to see how the team does for the rest of their season.
I am too, Jess. But with the conference championships happening this last weekend in college football, we are closer to the college football playoffs. Sports reporters turned analysts today, Connor Emery and Austin Williams, are in studio to tell us a little bit more of what we can expect from the bracket reveal this Sunday.
Thanks, Adriana. We have an exciting weekend coming up, as Adriana mentioned, that the conference championship is happening this weekend. And with the bracket reveal happening on Sunday, we were revealed the latest projection on Tuesday night from the playoff committee. Now, Austin, taking a look at this bracket right here, what can you expect to see going into this Sunday?
Well, expecting a lot this Saturday. I mean, you have a battle between 1 and 2, Indiana, Ohio State. You maybe have potentially BYU coming into the playoff with a win over Texas Tech. Georgia, Alabama. Will Alabama move up to one of those top 4 spots if they beat Georgia? A lot this week.
Yeah, it's a lot to cover because you have so much that could happen this weekend. In the ACC championship, you have a 7-5 Duke team that is facing against Virginia. And if Duke wins that matchup on Saturday, it creates a whole mess for the playoff committee. You could see an American team like North Texas or Tulane, or you could see a team like James Madison be in that last spot.
Yeah, and it'd be pretty cool to see 2 group of 5 teams in the playoff. I mean, I'm just going to say that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, if Duke wins, you said it, there will be a lot of chaos. James Madison, if they win the Sun Belt, would get in. And whoever wins the AAC or the American, North Texas or Tulane, one of those teams is going to find themselves in the playoff.
And if you're a Miami fan, you're thinking to yourself, well, wait, we beat Notre Dame on week 1 of college football. Shouldn't we be ahead of them? They're currently sitting at number 10 right now. And then if you're a BYU fan, you mentioned Austin, they basically have to win the Big 12 championship if they want to be in that automatic bid.
Yeah, BYU has to win. It's plain and simple. I mean, just look at the opponent in front of you, and that is how you will get to the college football playoff, is beating Texas Tech. They lost to Texas Tech earlier in the year, in not the prettiest fashion. But you mentioned Notre Dame. They lost to Miami early in the season, played Texas A&M early in the season, lost to both those teams. Right now they're expected to play Texas A&M. When they lost to Miami, it was a close game, but I mean, those teams doesn't depend on if Miami should be ahead of Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's a lot to process if you're on the playoff committee. I know they have to make tough decisions. And if you're BYU, I mean, you have quality wins at Arizona, against Utah, at Iowa State, and now you're back in the Big 12 championship to face the Texas Tech, their one loss, as you mentioned, Austin. But I'm really surprised of Ole Miss. They lost their head coach, Lane Kiffin, goes to LSU, and they have a new coach now, Pete Golding, who was the defensive coordinator, and they get to keep Charlie Weiss as the offensive coordinator heading to the playoffs. How come they get to stay in the playoffs as ranked number 6?
Well, probably because it's expanded to 12 teams. I mean, they don't get the Jordan Travis treatment that FSU got just about 2 years ago. But it will be a different Ole Miss team. The fire lit underneath them now is what I think is going to be a big shock. And I truly think that they're willing to prove the country wrong, that it wasn't Lane that did all the work. It was the team that did all the work.
It certainly will be exciting to watch football this weekend. I will be glued to my TV from Saturday morning to Saturday evening. But that's all we have for you tonight. When we come back, Adriana and Jess will sit down with a special guest to talk about the NCAA Cross Country Championship.
Love the hustle, Cliff. Who are you?
Your lungs.
We're quite proud of you.
Even though you quit smoking years ago, you may be at risk for lung cancer.
Okay. Well, with the routine screening, you can detect it early when it's more curable.
Sounds good, guys. Can I get a little space here?
Biologically, no.
Okay.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd?
He got a collapsed lung from vaping.
He thought it was cool. Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Welcome back. NAU Cross Country went to the NCAA Championship in Columbia, Missouri. Joined with us today is Nikita Moore, who is on the cross country team. Nikita, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I'm curious, as you round out the 5th year of your collegiate athletic career, I'm curious to know how you assess your career so far.
It's been a great 5 years. It's really sad to be finishing up, but you know, it's good to have something so special to be sad about. This team, they're like my best friends. it's really special up here, like in the mountains and at altitude. It's a special team.
Now, the Views have heard it. You've got an accent. You're from Australia. Tell us about your journey from Australia, basically to the other side of the world, and how you landed on Flagstaff.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to keep running, and the way to do that usually is to leave Australia and come to the NCAA system, so that was my #1 priority, and I knew I wanted to come to a really good team, and NAU being one of the best distance schools in the nation, it kind of drew me in, and the mountains, and it's just a really good team, and the coaches are really good as well. It's a really special place, and yeah, the culture of the NAU cross country team, that's the thing that really drew me in. It's all about team, and it's something special. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to know that what you're looking to do after graduation. You said that leaving Australia, there is of course more opportunities for athletics, but I'm wondering career-wise what you're looking to do.
Yeah, I would love to keep running. I have a lot of teammates that have gone on to have contracts and run in the Olympics and stuff, so that would be awesome. But I also love the idea of coaching and being around the sport, being around kids. Like, yeah, anything to keep doing with the sport would be pretty awesome.
Now, Jess mentioned it a little bit earlier, but you've spent 5 seasons here in Flagstaff on the same team. Can you take us through a specific memory or something that you feel like is really always going to stick out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that really stands out to me was a big turning point for the NAU women's team. We had one meet in Wisconsin where we really had a breakthrough. We won the A and the B race, and we were just going off each other's energy and vibes, and just after each other, we just were performing, and yeah, that was a really special moment. There were lots of tears, happy tears, and yeah, I'll remember that forever.
And finally, the NCAA tournament wrapped up last weekend. What was your role? What was the outcome? Tell us everything.
Yeah, I mean, both teams finished 8th, which I think was a big reflection of the process of this season, and we've been really close as a team, so both finishing 8th on the day was really special. Yeah, I was the 6th place woman, so that was really, really amazing. Me and my teammate, we ran together the whole way. And yeah, the NCAA cross country is just getting really, really good. So to be up there with those other schools was pretty special.
That is so awesome, Nikita. Thank you so much for joining us today. Nikita, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you once again for joining us on this edition of the Overtime. I'd like to thank first my co-host. Thank you, Jess, so much for hosting today.
I would like to thank you, Adriana, for being such an amazing co-host. And thank you to the viewers. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you next semester for the next edition of the Overtime. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the spring.